Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my channel, Marriage, Politics, and Sports. Tonight, you're on the swivel at the sports bar. So, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Listen, I like what I do here, and I just throw some stuff together that's on my mind every week in sports. So, it's football season. So, we're going to talk football. We're going to talk some basketball, what's coming up. We're going to talk some WNBA playoffs. And I tell you, I've never been as interested in the WNBA as I am this year. And it's the Caitlin Clark effect, of course, but I did like when Angel Reese feminized the league a little bit with her fashions and stuff like that. And okay, she could play a little bit of ball too. So, and then I never really fixated or even saw or talked about my girl Asia Wilson. So she could credit Caitlin Clark for bringing some new eyes to her game, and congratulations to her for winning the MVP. Hey, Kat, how you doing? Thanks and welcome aboard. And so we're gonna get started in a second. Um, I'm always gonna say my little disclaimer. Listen, if I was monetized, I probably would get in trouble for all the material that I use the way I use it. But as long as I can, I'm gonna keep embedding some videos. So it's all fair use and informational purposes only. And so I really don't get hit that hard when I put those videos and embed it in my slide deck. But I'm thinking I'm gonna have to change that in the future. But right now, we're gonna just run with it. Anyway, so it's all fair use. Anyway, we're gonna start out with some football. And my fellas might not be here this week again, which is cool. They're off and on. And listen, that's all right. But this is my show, so I welcome them when they come, and if they don't come, it's still cool. So no problem. Let me start out with my top 5 upsets of the week, and some of them are bigger than others. The Giants, they were supposed to lose that game against the Browns, so I'm glad they didn't. But I still say Daniel Jones, his days are numbered with the Giants. I would imagine they're going to be looking to go elsewhere next year. He's going to have to do something miraculous to keep that job. The Broncos beat the Bucks. That's a big surprise. Nobody thought they were going to win that game. You're already talking about your Steelers. Look at this. Wait, that's right. We're going to get to the Steelers. Don't wait. I think I have something specific for the Steelers. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned for the Steelers. Yeah, so they got to go 4-0 for me to start to get all warm and fuzzy about those guys. And it's really in the second half of the season that really matters, I think, for them. The Commanders won a big game. The Bengals are in trouble. The Bengals are in trouble. And the reason why they're in trouble is they play the Ravens next week, I believe. So if they go 0-4, the last team to make the playoffs after starting 0-4 was the San Diego Chargers, and that was in 1992. That was a long time ago. And so if they don't get on the scoreboard, now the Ravens can't afford to lose a game either because they're only 1-3, and they don't want to be 1-2. They don't want to be they're only 1-2. If they lose, they'll be 1-3, and that's not a good record for them either. Not in the competitive division that they're in. So the Rams, when they beat the 49ers, that was a big upset. So the 49ers are kind of a bit of a slide right now. You know what I'm saying? And then the Panthers, after getting drubbed so many times, they beat the Raiders. So that's a big one too. So anyway, so there's always upset in the NFL, which is good. So that keeps the league interesting. Any given Sunday. That was a terrible movie, but the greatest slogan that ever was. Well, the movie wasn't terrible; it was okay. But the slogan "Any Given Sunday" stuck, and it really makes sense. Anyway, so there's some quarterbacks who are in trouble. Deshaun Watson is at the top of the list. He's got another allegation, you know, and whether you believe the lady, trying to grab some money or not, he's got a proclivity that's pretty bad. And I'm not so sure it's over, even though there's an allegation from the original, not from the original group, but from the same time frame. I think everybody's tired of his game. And plus, he's not playing well. And the fact that he's not playing well and he's got all this shit over his head means that he's a liability to the team because they can't even market him. He can't be marketed. He's not playing well. The team is 1-2, and it's supposed to be better than that. And his contract is astronomical. And when you have trouble like moral troubles and those kind of things, the NFL owners find a way to get out of those contracts. So he may be short not only for the team, but he may be short for the whole league. So that's just something I think we're going to have to pay close attention to. Gardner Minshew, I think his surprise, underdog quarterback run might be over. Excuse me. I'm not saying the Raiders are going to get rid of him, but they're definitely going to be shopping for a real starting quarterback next year. If they're not doing it already, Daniel Jones with the Giants. I mean, how many? I think what's this, his fifth year or something like that. Are they going to pay him a big contract? I don't think so. I think they're going to be looking to move on if he doesn't have some kind of great season. Excuse me for a second. So he's got to do something. And I'm saying he's just the same. He hasn't grown, if you ask me. We know he could run a little bit. We know he could throw a little bit, but he doesn't have that it factor. That's the one thing he doesn't have. I think Bryce Young, he was a first round draft choice. He was number one last year, and I think the Panthers are just not the right team for him. But I don't think they could throw out the baby with the bathwater. Not just yet. Not just yet. They got to stick with him a little while longer. And Russell Wilson he got injured. He won the starting job in Pittsburgh, I believe, Cat. He won that starting job. But when he got hurt with the hamstring, they put my man, Fields in, and now he's 3-0. So Tomlin is probably not going to make a switch unless he has to. Now, the reason why this is important is because Russell's on a 1-year contract. So he's supposed to be playing. But if Fields looks good and wins some major games, then that year is going to be eaten up by him being a backup quarterback. And then they're going to be looking for somebody younger and not at his price point next year. So Russell, not Fields, but Russell Wilson. So he may be short for that team too. He may be looking for another team as well if he doesn't get in the starting lineup. So that's all interesting stuff. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. No need to be feeling sorry for Russell Wilson. He's got all the money he needs, got his beautiful wife, got all those kids. They're looking to even have another baby. So whether he plays football or not, his life is pretty full. All right, so here's your Steelers. Look at that. Are the Steelers for real? Now, they're 3-0, but are they for real? Can you really think that, what's the signature win that says, yeah, when they get up against a real major team this year, that they're going to win that game? Uh, okay, so waiting to see if Tomlin leaves Phil in because Wilson seems to still be recovering from that. Yeah, he's covered. Yeah, but okay. So let's just say he Fields plays game number 4, right? So if he plays number 4 and he wins and they're 4-0, What do you do on that fifth game? Even if Russell Wilson is feeling good, what do you do? Do you bench, Justin Fields after a 4-0 start? I don't think so. You could, but I just don't think so. Is it going to still be necessary to make him wait for another year if he's playing well? I don't know. Hey, what's up, Trey Ferg? I mean, Coach Ferg. What's happening, man?
What's up, my fan? How you doing, man?
All right, man. Welcome aboard, man.
Appreciate you, man.
We're talking about the
Yeah.
Steelers. We're talking about the Steelers.
Yeah. I saw. Hey, man, listen. That's all Justin Fields needed was somebody to believe in him, man. I don't think that, like you can see with Chicago, they don't really have a coach that invest in the players. So Williams is he gonna struggle too. It ain't gonna be no different. They ain't got no offensive line. So yeah, Steelers, man, they in the best position of all the teams in the league, man.
At least you know what is the one position they really don't have a problem is that quarterback.
Yeah, but think about it.
Yeah,
they paying bottom dollar for both quarterbacks. Both of them have been starters. Both are new to the team.
and one's in his 30s, and the other one's in his 20s.
Right. So you and they always had a top defense. So it's a win-win for them to me.
You got it, man. Catilia's over here saying hello to you, right? Because she's a big Steeler fan,
Yeah,
So
I know. What's up, Catelia? Yeah, I know she is. So
yeah, so I say, listen, if Justin Fields wins game 4, Tomlin's not taking him out.
Oh no, he ain't gonna take him out. I agree with you on that 100%.
Okay, so what does that mean for Russell Wilson since he's on a 1-year contract? And if Phil plays the whole season because he deserves it, what happens next? Russell will be looking for another team, I think.
You already know he's gonna be looking for a team. He's gonna be listen. If Andy Dalton can be a subpar starter journeyman, Russell Wilson has enough football in him to.
Oh yeah. I mean, he'll still be teams clamoring for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And the other thing I said, I don't know if you caught that. I said whether he plays again or not, man, the guy's life seems to be really full.
Oh yeah, Russell Wilson, he's a Super Bowl champion.
He's got a full family life. Regardless what people think about Sierra, I mean, she's a constant. I don't know what kind of mother she is, but she damn sure don't mind pulling out those babies.
Oh no, she ain't mind. What she got him one, she great probably give him another.
Yeah, well, they all talk. He just had the youngest one, but he already said they're on record because they want another one.
Oh well, there you go. There she gonna give it to him.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got a full. Remember, I did a piece on Russell Wilson on the Black Man Unfiltered network, and he had we let him talk for a long time. He was being interviewed, right? He seems like have a pretty nice life. I mean, how much you could believe, how much is just for the camera, but he sounds like his life is pretty full. So football is just one of those kind of things, and that's probably why he ain't he doesn't seem as hungry as he used to be. All right, so what's next? The Bengals, Joe Burrow, right? He had a lot of fanfare. Now they're 0-3. So what's this? I'm gonna hit this button and see a little bit about what Stephen A. Smith got to say about this guy. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Crazy old Stephen A. Probably good.
All-out blitz took a hit from Bengals safety Geno Stone, launched a perfect ball towards Terry McLaurin in the corner of the end zone for an incredible TD. The number 2 overall draft pick threw for 2 TDs, ran.
The Commanders quarterback is not looking that bad either.
Stunned Joe Burrow
the young boy.
Bengals 38-33 on Monday Night Football as the Bengals fall to 0-3. Here's our Chris Canty on Joe Cool.
I'm tired of all the excuses for Joe Burrow. Oh, the defense let Joe Burrow. No, Joe Burrow let Joe Burrow down. Joe Burrow let the offense down. Joe Burrow let the team down. Great stats, great stat line. Oh, it's amazing. He's had all of these touchdowns, no interceptions. But what did you do when the game was in the balance? What did you do when the game was on the line? You know, the answer is it's not enough. You know how I know it's not enough? Because your team doesn't have a win and you're going into week 4.
All right, Chris Canty fired up. You know I'm a happy girl right now, though, because I got both Marcus and Jeff Sack in the studio with me.
Let's go. Right.
I had Jeff sitting in my seat.
What he said.
He on the other side.
You want us to go with me? The one who dominates week in and week out sits in this chair. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm sitting here.
But you know what, Jeff, you know the problem with Jeff. You know the problem with Jeff Saturday is, I'm running in the streets and I got everywhere drooling over this book. How is Mr. Blue Eyes doing? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It's a real problem. It's starting to bother me. So let's move on.
It's just taking for a woman to remind you he's married.
He's on one. Come on, listen. I'm glad he was excited this morning. He was fired up. He was fired up. But Joe Burrow, you can't blame last night. If you want to go back to New England, okay, they didn't play good on offense. But this defense is last in the league over the last 20 games in pass defense. They didn't stop it. I'm pretty sure he walked off the field against the Chiefs with the lead before Patrick Mahomes drives him down the pass interference, kicked the field goal to lose that game.
He did.
You can't blame on a quarterback when your defense goes 21 of 23 against a rookie quarterback. And of the two, one was an errant throw. One was just a miscommunication. So really, a rookie quarterback threw one incompletion against your defense. So as much as I appreciate he's on one about Burrow, I can't lay it all at the feet of Joe Burrow for last night's loss.
We can stop it there. So Joe Burrow is good, but they did hype him up, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming in, he was supposed to be the second coming of Jesus Christ and all that kind of stuff. But you can't count all those losses against. I agree with that. But so, what do you think about Joe Burrow? Does he have a Lamar Jackson effect on him?
Not really. I mean,
did he get to the Super Bowl? He got to the Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah, he got to the Super Bowl. What is the second year or so?
Right.
But it is what it is at the quarterback position. You gotta. I look at it what it is, black and white. We're not as critical for certain quarterbacks as we are for some. Lamar Jackson's winning MVPs, and we still talking about he can't play. Joe Burrow goes to the Super Bowl. Now he's 0-4, but it wasn't his fault. It is what it is when it comes to football.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
So
I need to get that sound.
But if you think about it, R-Pain, look at the teams who had receivers to hold out.
Okay.
They struggle. Most of them are struggling.
Right. Oh, my man is holding out, ain't he? My man is holding out, right? His top dude is holding out. Is that right?
What he came back though. What's his name?
He came back? Okay.
Yeah, Chase. He's been back. I think the last 2 games. He's played the last 2, but you can see even in Dallas how CeeDee Lamb, the timing ain't there. It's going to take. Now this week, I expect everybody to win. Dallas, Cincinnati, teams at Chicago.
You think? Okay, let's stop with Cincinnati. You think Cincinnati is going to beat the Ravens?
No, they ain't.
They play the Ravens.
No,
they could. The Ravens. It depends on who shows up.
At some point, they usually split the home and homes and shit.
Right. So where are they at? In Cincinnati or in? Well, let me tell you this trivia, right? The last team to make a playoff starting 0-4 was in 1992. That was the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, and it's going to be the only team since 1992.
Yeah, man.
If they go 0-4, yeah, it's going to be ugly.
They go 0-4, man. That's tough. That's the thing about football. Every single game counts, even if it's the first game. Because because Baltimore, just for example, they're at a home field disadvantage because they lost to Kansas City if they're looking for, the playoffs, right? home
Yeah.
games, all that kind of stuff. I'm one of these guys that I'm a stickler. I don't like to buy going into the playoffs. I'd rather plan. I'd
Yeah,
rather be.
especially if you're on like a 5-6 game winning streak, it's best to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like once you break that momentum, things
Yes,
change. Everything's different.
right.
And
All right, so we're gonna get into a little NBA buzz, man, real quick. I don't have much, but I'm gonna just go ahead and talk about that. Kawhi Leonard, and I'm not even gonna play this. Kawhi Leonard had knee surgery in the off season, and he's projected, even though it's a month or so before the regular season, he's projected to miss at least a month or two
yeah,
of the regular season.
that's his
Now,
MO though.
yeah, say what?
That's Kawhi Leonard's MO.
Yeah, but should he retire? Now, let me say, I say that in the backdrop of looking at his salary, right? He makes $49 million a year.
Yeah,
He's got 3 years, this year and 2 more years, with, of course, it all 100% guaranteed. So, he can't just quit because then they're going to have to negotiate, the rest of his salary because he's not going to get it all.
I think he's not gonna quit. He's gonna play it out.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to play it
He's
out.
gonna play it out.
He's
I
going
mean,
to play it out.
then the last 3 or 4 years of his career, guess what? He's gonna make a $3-4 million salary and chill out. That's it. I mean, just like what's the rest book? He had his time. Now he's just $2 or
Yeah,
$3 million a year. I can come
He's
in and
still,
give you 10, 12 points. Why not?
yeah, why not? Right? Yeah, but especially if you know what? Guess when if he retires, guess what he's going to be doing for the most part anyway? Playing
Who's
ball.
that?
Yeah, like a Russell Westbrook. I mean, a lot of these guys continue to play ball, except because they ain't making no money at it no more when they retire.
He'll probably go to
That's
the
why
big
the big
three.
three was so big.
Yeah, he'll probably go to the big three for a year or two, but
He
I don't
might,
think he's
but
gonna play.
that's my point. The point I'm making is these guys, if for recreation, they'll play ball. So you might as well stay in the league as long as somebody will have them and get a couple of $1 million for it.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'll do it too, man. Shit, I
I
wish
would
somebody
do it
called me
too.
up for.
All
You
right,
can
so I
call
got
me up.
another one. Okay, let's talk Donovan Mitchell. Now, listen, by all accounts, he's a very good player, but it's clear that he's not the player you need to win a championship. He needs somebody else, either a 1A that's better than him, or somebody at least he needs another 1A. He needs a 1A.
Yeah, he
So he
needs
thinks
another.
he needs another for sure. But but you never get hurt with him on your team.
No, for
Now,
sure.
so this is his thing, He says he's making his statement. I look at myself as one of the top 10 or top 15 in the league.
Yeah,
What do you say?
I can see that. Donovan
Which
Mitchell's
one?
one of
Top
the
10
top
or
15.
top 15, but top 10?
Right now, I will put him in the top 10. Just right. He probably number 10 right now because you got to think about LeBron is old, AD is old, and
Steph Curry.
KD is old. Kevin Durant's old, but they go put him there just based off what he's done.
Right,
But
right.
Donovan mentions he's just coming into his prime. He's right there
Yeah.
with Tatum and all of them guys. So
Yeah. So listen, I mean, you can't really argue with him. He's certainly the go-to player on the Cleveland team. I think the thing that holds him back is that he's not a big guard. He's tough, but he's only around 6'3", maybe. He's not that tall, So
yeah, but he
but
got those hops, I think.
but no, I was gonna say he's got a lot of athletic ability, is for sure. All right, so our
I'm gonna be
girls.
listening. Hold on.
Say that again.
I said I'm gonna be listening. I'm going to transition into the house.
Oh, no problem. All right. Yeah, so we switched over to WNBA. I just got what I'm talking about now is some of the awards at the end of the season. Of course, Asia Wilson wins the MVP. And they say she's around 6'5", man. I think she's going with Bam Adebayo. I think they've been seen together, right? They got something going on. So that's a plus. She's still batting for the team she's supposed to be batting for. Caitlin Clark got the unanimous Rookie of the Year. Oh yeah, this is Asia's second unanimous MVP. Caitlin got the unanimous Rookie of the Year, which is like a fait accompli. A woman named Nafasi.
Get over, Sachi. Get over.
Yeah, so Collier, she won the Defensive Player of the Year. Nafisa Collier. And actually, she's married. I don't know if it was a man or a woman, but I think it's a guy. And Cheryl Reeve is the coach. And of course, that makes sense. The coach of the Fever being coach of the year because their team actually came out of nothing to get the playoffs. And then the lady who tried to poke Caitlin's eye out is the most improved player, Dejanay Carrington. I saw that play a couple times, and nobody's going to convince me that that was an accident. I don't think she tried to poke. I mean, the way she had those claws, I don't see why they let them play with the long fingernails at all. Anyway, so I'm gonna show. So that's what I'm gonna show next. So let's just kind of look at this little play here. So much. Yeah. So boom. Yeah, to me, man, it looks clear that she tried to poke her in the eye, man. I don't, I know you said you're only walking, but I think that's an infraction all the way. Anyway, so here's Dejanay, and she has something to say about it. And she's a little snippy when she's getting questioned. What's mine? Oh, yeah, let me see. How come I can't hear her?
And kind of swatted at Caitlin. Would you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that front?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. It doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like private player, but so yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like you were just later on in the game. They caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her. So yeah, something I didn't know happened.
And was swatted.
I'm gonna play this again.
Intend to hit her in the eye, and if so,
Okay, let me stop that. Isn't that wait? What kind of question is that? Are you gonna ask somebody? What is she supposed to say? Yeah, I tried to poke the bitch's eye. What is she gonna say? I mean, it's just that's the dumbest question in the world. If it's not dumb, it's a gotcha question. What is she supposed to say? Yeah, I intended to poke her in the eye.
or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that front?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So
The other thing is, why the hell does she have those ugly ass bushy eyelashes on? Coach, I mean, Coach Furge, if you see the eyelashes this woman has on, it's I don't understand where they think that's fashion. It's not. It's ratchet all over it, man. I think if they go back in the archives and when women wore those kind of eyelashes, that they might think twice. I mean, her eyelashes got like a inch or two. It's horrible. Yeah, I can't stand those lashes, man. I mean, when I was young, I remember it was a fad when women were wearing those eyelashes and the shit went out of style. I think it was the gays who brought that shit back. They just like the partner term and all that kind of stuff. Not even, I mean, the alphabet mafia, not even just the gays. I mean, this thing is just horrible. I just don't understand it.
it's never intentional. That's not even like private player, but so yeah.
Did you and Marina kind of laugh about it afterwards? It looked like you were just later on in the game. They caught you guys laughing about it.
No, I just told you I didn't even know I hit her. So yeah, something I didn't know happened.
And
I'll give her credit, man, because a question would have probably pissed me off. You know, you was on the sideline. You don't even know what she was laughing about, and you're gonna say she was laughing at the poke in the eye. That's those gotcha questions. She answered those okay, but golly, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm old, but I know I would never ever approach a woman with eyelashes like that. I don't care how good she looks underneath that. It's just something mentally off in my mind. Anyway, it's just me. Who the hell? I'm married, man. What the hell? Nobody gives a shit what I think about. Next. What's next? Oh, okay. So the playoffs are in full swing, and New York won its first game, and so did the Aces. So did Minnesota, and of course Connecticut beat the Fever. Now the question is Caitlin plays tonight against the Fever plays tonight, and they could be eliminated tonight out of the playoffs. And my question will be, I have a question on that, because what happens to the ratings, the excitement when when or if Caitlin gets eliminated from the playoffs? That's the question, because then it goes back to, what are we watching for? And I would imagine that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, the attendance they enjoy, even if it's the playoffs, goes back to normal, back to the median, back to what it was, when people didn't even know the playoffs was going on. You know what I'm saying? They might get some push because the excitement has been built up, so people might just want to play it through. But if she gets eliminated tonight, there's going to be a drop off. How much percentage? I don't know. But there will be. I'll probably be monitoring that. If I can, I might even try to catch that game, or at least parts of it. I hope she wins. But, of course, they weren't slated to even be in the playoffs, so every game is gravy. All right, big three, nothing to talk about. Baseball. The big story is Otani with his record-setting home runs. So let's play a little bit about Otani. This might be a long one. Oh, God damn it.
Bookstores. I read that one. I read that one. I read that. That's what I saw today. You might guess. It looks like this.
So, yeah, there you go. He's right there. He's hitting. He's batting. He's looking for 50-50. Nobody else has done that. 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases at the start of this game. There you go.
Chasing a spot that no one's ever gone. 50-50. He's off and steals third. The throw actually beats him in the bag. But this is a clever slide, and he pops up and avoids the tag. So he's now gotten to 50 steals, needs 2 more homers. He'll take that base away, replaced with a new bat. Top of the second, it's 1-0, actually 2-0 Dodgers, and well, now you're just showing off. That's his 51st steal. So he's gotten to the 50, and now he's eclipsed it. We need a few more home runs. Well, here they come. Otani, with the Dodgers up 7-3, absolutely obliterates this pitch, and he ties Sean Green. For the most in the history of the Dodgers franchise, that's 49. Green hit that mark back in 2001. So now just 1 home run away. Top 7, it's an 11-3 game. The fans on their feet. It's a 1-2 pitch, and that's history. Otani, the first player in the history of Major League Baseball to have 50 homers and 50 steals. And it's a road game, but frankly, everybody was there to see that dude and see if they could win his history.
But he's not done. He's not done today.
A remarkable moment.
He's
Transcendent player in his first year there. Here's how that sounded on the Dodgers broadcast. On a 1-2, Otani. Season. Starts the 50-50
All right, we can end that right there. He goes on to hit another home run. And so, listen, they have 5 games. I have a question on this later on because they have 5 games left in the season. And right now, he's at 53 home runs and 55 stolen bases. And that brings us to other sports and other banter coming in for the home stretch. So I got some questions here. And maybe you said you're only in listen mode, Coach Ferg, because it would be good that you're here. My first question is, how far do we think the WNBA ratings will fall when Caitlin Clark gets eliminated, either tonight or soon? And so I talked about this a little bit. I just think that he's gone. He had to drop off for a second. If not, but I think their ratings are going to go down. But he's back now. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hey, Coach. Can you hear me? Oh, you still in listen mode. Unless you're on. Anyway, you in the house? You settled?
No,
Yeah, man.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I got some questions, man.
I can hear you.
The first question: how far do you think their ratings will fall if they lose tonight? The Fever.
Who's that? The Fever?
Yeah,
As far as the WNBA?
Yeah, if they're in an elimination game tonight, the Fever and Caitlin Clark, if they lose tonight, how far do you think the ratings will fall for the rest of the playoffs? Got a percentage? Or will momentum?
I said about 30%.
Huh?
I said about 30%.
Right. So it might have been more, but I think you don't think the momentum the momentum of people watching, so it's not going to be as precipitative, as if she was never there, because most people don't even know, most years people don't even know the playoffs going on with the WNBA. So yeah, but it's gonna drop. You damn sure. 30% sounds right. It sounds right. The next one I have is the Ravens. They have the chance to make the Bengals 0-4. And we talked about this a little bit. I said, what's the probability that the Bengals make the playoffs if they go 0-4? What happens to them? What happens to all the can Burrow pull them out? They'll be in desperation mode almost every game. And we know that, you go 0-4, the chance of making the playoffs in the NFL is, hasn't been done since 1992. And that's when the game was a lot different than it is now. So I don't know. So they'll be in big trouble. So the Ravens should really be afraid of that game. They have a chance to go 1-3 if they lose that game themselves. So they're not in a good position. They can't give away any games either, to tell you the truth. So that's one to watch. I'll be watching that game on Sunday or whenever it is. I think.
Yeah, it's a must-win game.
Yeah, so these guys are playing playoff games in the 4th game of the season. That's the beauty of football, man. I mean, the game is important. It's the 4th game of the season. So what about Jalen Hurts, man? What do you think about Jalen Hurts? Has the bloom going off the rose?
Yeah, I don't think they're using him correctly, though.
What do you mean?
They pass him too much.
Okay.
They don't, it's like coaches panic. They panic. If a team scores a touchdown, then they abandon everything and just start passing the ball.
Okay.
Which makes no sense. You
He's
stay
not the
with
greatest runner either. He could run, but he's not that's not his forte.
no, not now. Teams always catch up with you in the NFL. So it is what it is.
All right. So I'm looking at his games. My man Andre, he's not here, but he's a big Philly fan. And I'm saying, Jalen Hurts, they're paying him a lot of money. He got paid. So that's cool. So he's comfortable. But when I'm looking at his games, I just don't see the flash like I saw when he was real hungry. But, it's early for him. He's still a young quarterback. Okay, so so my last question: with 5 games left for the Dodgers, Otani is 53 home runs and 55 stolen bases. Does he have a reasonable chance to create the 60-60 club?
Now, unless he just goes on a streak, like every time he gets up to bat, hit a home run, but that'll be hard to do.
So so yeah. Well, first of all, I'm assuming he's playing the rest of the 5 games, right? So if he's
Yeah.
yeah, so let's just assume he's playing the other 5 games. He'll have to hit 7 home runs in 5 games, which is possible for him if they pitch to him, right?
Possible.
It's not probable though, but it's not like outside of the realm. Because like the game he broke the record. He had 3 home runs that game.
Yeah, so I mean, he got a chance, but it's gonna be
You got a chance,
really,
but I mean, it's a small chance. I get it, but the stolen bases are in the bag. Most likely, he could get 5 stolen bases in 5 games. So that's the one thing he can do. Of course, stolen base. You got to be on base to get a stolen base, so he's got to be having a good game. So, but the point is, he can get those. But it'd be interesting to see where he ends up. I think he's going to end up with a better than 53 and 55. It's going to be closer, He might not make it, but he might get 60. Might get 60 stolen bases. He might. I'm telling you. If he's playing, let's just assume he plays those 5 games. So it'd be interesting because this is my hook for even wanting to watch baseball. Because even want to watch baseball, you got to get me something that's going to draw me to that damn thing. So at least that record, man, the guy's phenomenal. Because this is his off season.
Yeah, this is the time. This is the time right here when baseball gets sort of exciting.
Yeah, 5 games left in the season.
Yeah, playoffs starting.
Go ahead.
So, no, I'm just saying playoffs are starting soon, so this is a time, man.
Yeah,
and the teams, it's a lot of teams really close in record. I think Dodgers got the #1 seed, but it's been so I like baseball at this time of the year. This is probably the
So do you know who Alicia Baumgartner is? You ever heard of her? She's a boxer. Alicia Baumgartner.
I heard of her name some time ago.
All right, so we're gonna take a little quick look at Alicia Baumgartner, man. And her profession is punching people in the face and getting punched in the face, and she looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Security fire. Oh, look, she got some muscles too. Look at this muscle there, man. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, look at this. Look at that arm. Look at that arm.
Yeah, man. She built.
She built, man. She built solid. She built solid. So she's talking to Shaq in this one.
Shaq's journal entry today. I talked to Alicia. Boy, is she pretty. She could punch me in the face anything.
It's something about these guys who comment on my pictures and say, "Oh, punch me. I want to get punched." And I'm like, that's wild.
Hold on, guys. Do we really do that?
Yes.
All right, so
you punch me?
All right, so what's the wildest comment you got without naming names?
The wildest comment off the top of my head?
Yeah, off the top of your head.
One would obviously be punch me and punish me, right? And be punished. I think the second comment would be people think I'm in a relationship with a woman. That's the one that be blowing me. Like, listen, I like men, okay?
Who's the biggest name that jumped in the DM?
I want to say Shaq O'Neal jumped in the DMs. And,
DM. No, I did. I'm gonna tell you how. Because when I saw her, I didn't know if she was a boxer. I was watching the boxing thing, and I saw this pretty girl with some big arms. What's up?
Shaq, man. Shaq's a nasty bastard, man. He be trying to get the chicks all the time, man.
What?
Brother.
Hey, brother, if you were single, ready to mingle, you be old
You
Shaq
damn right.
too.
You damn right, man. And with all the money, man, Shaq. The only problem I have with Shaq, man, he like those little ass girls, man.
Yeah.
He like, I don't know how you know. I mean, I'm just 6 feet, man. But I mean, I did have a girlfriend. She might have been 5'1". Well,
I'll tell
she was,
you.
yeah.
Why Shaq go find somebody 6'10", 6'9", trying to be his woman at? Or Lisa Leslie? No,
No,
that's about
no,
it.
she
And
don't
if he,
have to be 6'9", man. But for me, like, listen, women have requirements, right?
Mhm.
If I was 6'10", I'd be looking for a woman at least 6 feet, man, 6'1".
well, I think if you were 6'10", you better have 6'10" money.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's assume that I had all the accolades to go along with being 6'10" instead of
Okay,
being some doofus and shit on YouTube, you know?
okay.
But I'm just saying, I mean, because even at 6 feet, man, I enjoyed the ladies that were at least, look at me, 5'9". I had a girlfriend who was 5'10", right? And she put some shoes on or something, and she look at me eye to eye. So when she's talking shit to me, it has more meaning because she's looking at me like she could do something. That's
Uh,
you know what I'm saying. Looking back at her eye to eye. I don't have to bend down and kiss her and shit. None of that.
well,
I mean, it's just weird, man. I didn't have any problem with bigger chicks. I mean, but usually the average woman was like maybe 5'5", 5'4", 5'6". So that was cool. But I'm just saying, man, there's something about a tall honey. So if I was really tall, I'd be giving relief to all of those tall girls who can't find boyfriends.
I know you would. Just
Yeah,
like,
man.
just like if you were single and you rolled up on Angel Reese, she'd be under your guns. Like, where you
Only
going
thing
there?
I,
You ain't going nowhere.
that's right. The only thing I would have tell her, dude, you got to take those goddamn eyelashes off. That's all. That's all. You can have the booty shorts and all that shit on if you want, but the eyelashes have to go. They gotta go.
Yeah, I don't like
Anyway,
that shit.
all right. So, all right, man. I don't know if you were around, and this is my last slide. I was talking about Anthony Joshua gets knocked out. Right? He gets knocked out in the 5th round, and my thing about him is that he's been so rich for so long, he has to get up for his fights. And I just think that it just what kind of mood he's in when he starts to fight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some editing for this shit at the end. Courtesy to Rummy, fair use.
Saturday night in a championship contest, Anthony Chad and going right after AJ. Dubois was winning the early battle of the champs, and he was also twice warned for using his head in the early going. Late in the opening round, Dubois landed a walloping right hand that sent AJ.
Just the first round.
The round was over, but it was a beautiful knockdown and a terrific start for Dubois. In round 2, Dubois continued going on the attack, and he continued being effective. A mighty onslaught from Dubois left AJ looking off balance and a bit wobbly. But Dubois was never reckless, and he remained patient, choosing his moments wisely. And whenever he did pounce, he was explosive. Dubois was still using his jab effectively, sometimes doubling up. It was another solid round for Dubois, who was not allowing AJ to settle in and find any type of rhythm. The third started a bit more tactical, but again, Dubois was the one showing superior firepower. To his credit, AJ was trying to regain his composure and box, but he was having a hard time earning Dubois' respect. As the third was coming to an end, Dubois opened up with a spirited attack where Joshua but it wasn't ruled a knockdown.
That was a knockdown.
As Dubois continued pouring it on and did eventually drop. In round 4, Dubois had AJ
Jesus Christ.
Moments later, he was down again, although this time it was not ruled a knockdown. AJ was doing everything he could to survive and slow Dubois' roll. Dubois was warned for throwing low, and when action resumed, he resumed attacking effectively. Joshua was having a lot of problems.
A lot of problems.
He was
Getting his
still
ass
doing his
beat.
best, and he made it to the end of the round. Dubois continued being patient, effective, and explosive to start round 5. And AJ was beginning to take more chances. AJ nailed Dubois with a big right hand that left him backing up. This emboldened AJ, and he began opening up, and the two traded big right hands. But Dubois landed the money punch right on the chin that had AJ down yet again. And this time, Joshua would not be beating the king. The fight was over. It was a fifth round knockout
What's he doing, yoga?
and a dominant effort from start to
Boom.
finish to score the big-time upset. These things do indeed happen in threes. First,
That's all right, man. All I gotta say is that Anthony Joshua has made so much money. You know how it was. Marvin Hagler said it, that it's one thing to be hungry and fight. It's one thing to have millions and millions and get prepared for a fight when you don't have to. You know, so that's what Joshua reminds me of. He's been living such a comfortable life, man. I think if he doesn't get up mentally for the fights, he's just doing it for the payday. You know, that's just me. So the boxing schedule, we know Joshua just got his butt whipped. So Alicia Baumgardner, who we just talked about, fights on the 27th.
Who's she fight off, man?
She's fighting this chick called Delphine, who's the champ. Well, they're fighting for a championship. But, you know, I don't know who's the champ. I think there's a Ring Magazine championship, and that's on the 27th. So if that might just be on regular ESPN, by the way. So if it is, I'll probably check it out. Then Tim Tszyu is fighting. You ever heard of Costa Tszyu?
I heard of him, but I haven't really checked him out.
Costa Tszyu is the guy who beat pretty much retired Zab Judah. Man, he was never the same after he beat up Zab. But Costa Tszyu's son, named Tim Tszyu, is a decent fighter too. So he's fighting for the championship of the junior middleweight. Of course, that Iron Mike Tyson fight is on, from what I understand, in November.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury. Yeah. Bivol is fighting Shakur Stevenson. And then Ben Whitaker, the clown. But he has skill, but he's a clown in the ring. He's fighting. So this is a boxing schedule. So boxing's alive and well. Anyway, fair use for all the videos. I'll put the links to the description, the links to all of those videos in the description box later on. And anyway, man, thanks for joining me on the Swivel, man. So the other sports show is on tonight?
Yeah, man. Yeah, on tonight.
What's the topic for the night, man, on BMU's sports show?
I couldn't tell you, man.
Okay.
Of course we're gonna do football. I think we're gonna go with boxing also.
Okay.
You know, just because of everything that's going on, but so it just changes, man. They might have something scheduled, and then once we get to going, man, it get derailed, and next thing you know, 9:30 here, 9 o'clock. We've been going a little longer though. But
I noticed. I mean, I have something else at 9 o'clock, but I use this time afterwards, after my sports show, to do a couple of things with the wife, and then I'm gonna be on the Real Precious, I think, at 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, man. She started to hook me in on the link, man. So I'm gonna come through that, man. As soon as I get finished with that, man.
Cool, man. Jump over. So I'll see you later. Thanks, Katilia, for jumping up. See, if it wasn't for, I would have no audience. So, but I mean, I'm gonna change that for the future. Right now, I'm just like, having a good time, man. Just keeping consistent, and then I have to learn how to be a good YouTuber as I go.
I mean, but you're good, man. You know what I'm saying? It comes, man. You good.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem, man. For sure.
We'll hook up. I'll see you later then. If that's the case.
Yes, sir.
You got it later. All right.
Appreciate you.
Good night. Good night. We're going to be out of here.